The reason why is it just completely changed the dynamics. Like, if Zach Hyman hadn't been injured and didn't have emergency surgery, I can guarantee you, well, as much as I can guarantee anyone, that the Oilers would have won the playoffs and would have won the cup last year. I'm Doc Faisal, orthopedic surgeon with Move Smarter Health. We are sponsored by an educational grant from Kinesi Movement. I love sports. I love talking about injuries. I take care of shoulder and knee injuries, and I operate and treat on them. And please consider this an educational, informative video only. Here we go. All right, my favorite subject is hockey. And unfortunately, we're not going to be talking about my favorite topic. However, we are talking about one of my favorite teams. I'm a big-time hockey fan, grew up loving the Habs, love the Oilers, love the Leafs, and everyone's going to be saying, how can you love all those teams? I love hockey. Okay, so Zach Hyman, everyone saw his injury happen. Clearly deliberate. Well, one could argue it's not deliberate. I'm not making any accusations about any other hockey player or team. However, he had an injury, boom, on his wrist. What happened? We don't know the specific details. In some cases, they say fracture. In other cases, they say fracture dislocation. In other cases, they say dislocation. Now, we know the wrist. I think we're going to need new bones for the next season. I mean, we just started the season and I've destroyed all these joints. So the wrist has a lot of bones in it. I mean, I ripped this one already apart, but you've got the radius, the ulna, and all the carpal bones, and the carpal metacarpal articulation, the CMC joint. We've talked about the thumb before. There's a lot of joints around the wrist. So, and here's the thing. The wrist is managed primarily by hand surgeons. Now, I don't call them hand surgeon weenies, but some people do. And I'm laughing because my hand surgery colleagues have heard me say that. But they love tiny little bones and tiny little operations. Now, Zach Hyman is supposed to be coming back. We all thought it was going to be maybe end of October. Sounds like it's going to be November. We don't know exactly when he's going to be back. And Zach Hyman is still week to week. So we don't know whether he's back, and I'm hoping he has a great recovery. The idea that he's coming back is fantastic because last year, after Zach Hyman got knocked out, it changed the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. Oilers were on a run, and then they just kind of like fell off the cliff. I mean, I felt so bad. Like, I know we have a weakness with goaltending. Yes, change out their goalies. Can you imagine if we got Shesterkin from the Rangers or Ottinger from Dallas? They're not going to give him up. But we need a goaltending change. Yes, go ahead and put the comments below. That is my opinion. And we need better defense. We need a better goaltender. Yes, 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 yes. I can say that because it's my channel and you can only put opinions down below. But I welcome them because I love you guys. Okay, so Zach Hyman gets knocked out. And here's the thing. We don't have the details of exactly what was done, but most recently I heard on TSN, the sports network based out of Canada in Toronto, and somebody in an interview said he had 5 plates in his wrist. I was like, 5 plates in his wrist? Well, it is possible. Okay. Now, and the reason is there are very specific tiny micro plates that are injury specific, fracture specific, and pattern specific. You could have one for the radial stylus, the tubercle. You could have one over at the ulna. You could have one over on the articular side, on the volar side. You could have a very specific 2 or 3 plates on the volar side of the radius. There could also have been something in the carpal bones. Now, typically you don't plate carpal bones, you put screws in them, but like I said, I'm not a hand surgeon, but talking to surgeon colleagues and hand surgery experts, that do hand surgery way more than I don't do it anymore. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. And they told me absolutely, it was a lot of the new plates and very injury-specific plates. You could have 5 plates in a wrist fracture dislocation. And, was it a perilunate, periarticular fracture dislocation of the wrist? It could be. I can't give you more specific details because that's all private medical information with Zach Hyman, and the amount of details we get is limited. We know he had a wrist injury. Was it a fracture dislocation? Was it a dislocation? We don't know. Did he have, in fact, 5 plates? We don't know, okay? I'm not the treating surgeon. We're talking about that within the context of Zach Hyman because I want him back!
A little emotional now, huh?
Little too much. Too much energy. So, Zach Hyman needs to come back. I am very hopeful he comes back stronger, better, faster, because the Oilers need him. And once we have more details on the injury, we're going to do a deep dive. I'm going to get Dr. Rosie back, and you guys are going to love her because you loved her. You didn't like me. Yeah, you make fun of me. Oh, he's wearing this shirt and that shirt, and he's, off topic. Well, I'm wearing a sweater, people. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so even with all the plates,
yeah,
the plates wouldn't be the reason it's 6 months for him to come back, right? There's probably more like ligament damage and stuff in it.
Yeah, there could be a lot of different factors. I mean, and you also have to realize you have small plates, small bones, they require healing, and you want to be sure that they heal. Now, if the scaphoid was involved, you have to worry about blood supply. We talked about that. Dr. Rosie talked about it the last time. There's a lot of things that can happen. I'm not a hand surgeon expert. I primarily do shoulders and knee surgery, so that's not my area of expertise, and that's why we had Dr. Rosie on, and hopefully we'll get her back for when we have more details about the Zach Hyman injury. But absolutely, you have to have all of them heal. Now, the other aspect is, if you have a multi-ligament, multi-bone fracture, dislocation, if that's what it is, then you have a certain amount of recovery. Think about what your wrist does. That many bones, and this is what you can do playing hockey. Like you're moving the hockey stick. You can't play hockey with a wrist fusion. You could, but for a player like Zach Hyman, moving and rotating the stick and manipulating, even catching a puck, dropping it, and some of the plays that he does, blocking, like, will he come back full force? I hope so. Will he have a wrist brace? Maybe. It's possible. He could have a wrist brace, like a little very, very thin, partial fabric, thermoplastic, low profile wrist brace. Maybe. He may start with that. It's possible. But in the end, if he needed that to play and he felt like he wasn't 100%, the athlete is going to say, I'm not coming back until I can move my wrist better and I get my strength. Because you need the strength. Like you see it all the time right now. People chop the hockey stick and sometimes get away with a slash. And if the hockey stick drops out of the hand with a minor flip or chop or slash that the ref doesn't see, you lose your stick. So you got to have that grip too. You got to have that stability, especially when you shoot. So there's a lot of factors. Whether it's backhand or forehand, I'm a lefty. So with hockey, I'm a lefty. Interestingly enough, nobody cares. You don't care. It's all about the pro athlete. So I won't even get into it. But depending on whether you do backhand or your primary shot, you have to have good function of your wrist. And that's why it may have been a little bit longer. Now, you have multiple bones. They all have to heal. You have ligaments. If there was ligament reconstruction, absolutely it needs stability. He needs his strength, he needs his rehab. We talked about it before. Proprioception, rehabilitation, and then the confidence needs to be back. So this isn't bad. May to November, what is that? June, July, August, September, October, November. Oop, forgot one. Yeah. You know what's funny? None of the kids know who the Count is.
Right.
No one watches Sesame Street.
That's for your older audience.
Actually, there was a kid that said, what's a cartoon? It's like, yeah, you're right. It's a YouTube show. It's not a cartoon. What is a cartoon? Who's the Count on Sesame Street? Bring bring the count back. So 7, 8 months, it's okay. 6, 7 months, did I say 6, 7? No, that was not intentional. Do not say that. In fact, here's the best part. Took my kids on a field trip. And here's what's changing in elementary school. Everyone knows that the 6, 7 is really popular. They love talking about it, but when you actually ask them and say 6, 7, they all say no, or they say yeah. And then you ask them to sing a song from K-pop Demon Hunters, they actually have started saying no. You know why? It's too much information. Why am I talking about it? Because you asked for it. No, they didn't. So anyway, Zach Hyman, I love you. I hope you're back. Go Oilers and the Leafs and the Habs and who else? Well, actually, I like watching McKinnon play. I'll admit it. I just love hockey. Do I like the Sharks? Well,
they suck.
It's not that I dislike the Sharks. I haven't found a reason to love the Sharks. My son loves the Sharks. You know, I actually took him to a Sharks and Habs game, and he just was looking at the colors, looking at the whole Sharks stadium and all the lights and action and everything like that, and the jersey and the colors. And he was like, Dad, I know you like the Habs because you grew up there, but I can like the Sharks because I grew up here. And it was the politest way that I've ever had a kid telling me, I'm going to go for the Sharks, Dad, not the Habs. Anyway, love you guys. Till next time.